American heavyweight prospect Gerald Washington knocked out Skipp Scott, who is also somewhat of a prospect, in the second round. This was a fairly interesting fight going in because one or two people had mentioned Gerald Washington to me as a possible contender for the heavyweight title down the line. Gerald Washington's already 31 years old. He's unbeaten. He's 12-0 now with 9 KOs. He's a 6'5" heavyweight. He's got a good reach, like 82-inch reach. And this is the first time I've seen him live. I did have a look at him on YouTube a couple of weeks ago when, people mentioned him to me. And he seems decent so far. There was nothing exceptional that really stood out about him. But he seems decent. Seemed to have a fairly decent jab when he let it go. Seemed confident in the ring. He came forward on Skipp Scott and let his hands go. Wasn't afraid. Skipp Scott offered very little back though. It has to be said. Scott looked a bit stiff. Didn't seem to have the greatest offense on him. And in the second round, Washington seemed to hurt Skipp, or at least buzz him a little bit with a right hand, and then he followed up with a left hook. And Skipp Scott went to his knees, he went to take a knee, and then Washington followed through with a right hook to the body, which kind of knocked Skipp Scott down flat on his back from the body shot. Body shot really did appear to be a very powerful, heavy shot. And Scott got up. He didn't seem too woozy or dazed or anything like that, but the referee elected to stop the fight, okay? Because Scott got up and then he was protesting to the referee that he got hit when he took a knee, that he got hit while he was on the ground, and then he went down to take a knee again as if he was demonstrating what had happened. And as he took a knee again, the referee waved it off. So I'm not sure if there was a communication error there. I'm not sure if the referee thought that he was hurt and needed to go down again. I don't know what it was, but it was a bit of a strange stoppage, and apparently Skipp Scott's team are planning on protesting the stoppage and protesting the result and getting the result overturned to a no contest. But yeah, Gerald Washington, you can't really say much about that performance because it was such a short fight. There wasn't that many clean punches landed, to be honest. The first clean shots that went in were the shots in the second round. Other than that, there wasn't that many clean shots. Skipp Scott had a fairly high-held guard. He was blocking a lot of Washington's punches. Washington seems athletic. He's again a big guy, 6'5", or the commentator said he was 6'5" or 6'6", so somewhere around the two. So he's a decent enough size for a heavyweight today. Skipp Scott was apparently 6'8", although there didn't seem to be 3 inches difference between the two guys. I don't know. Let me know what you think about Gerald Washington's performance. One interesting thing about Washington is he's apparently half Mexican. He don't look it, but he's apparently half Mexican and half African American. Although Mexico is a country, not a race. So I'm sure there are some black Mexicans. So yeah, that's one of the interesting things about Gerald Washington is that he's half Mexican. His mother apparently is Mexican, and his alias, his nickname is again, excuse my Spanish, but his nickname is El Gallo Negro. Now I know that negro means black, obviously. El Gallo, I don't know what that means. So if you're a Spanish speaker, please tell me what the hell that means. I'd be interested to know. So yeah, if you watched the fight, let me know how you felt about it. If you know about Gerald Washington, please drop your comments below and let me know what you feel about this guy as a prospect. Again, the one thing I would say is I liked his poise in the ring. I liked the confidence that he went about his work with. Again, he wasn't up against the greatest competition, and he will certainly face sterner tests than this. But from what I saw, I like the confidence, and the other fights I've seen him in previously on YouTube. I like the confidence and the fact he's not afraid to let his hands go. He does kind of swing his punches a little bit. That's the only thing I will say. Not exactly the straightest shots all the time, but you got guys like George Foreman who was swinging punches for his entire career for the most part, and he was very successful. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to, end in disaster for you. Marcus McDonald's another guy who's had a resurgence in his career. Even though he's straightened up his punches a little bit more than his punches were a few years ago. against people like Amir Khan, he still throws those wild hooks here and there. So, yeah, take a look at Gerald Washington. Let me know how you feel about him in this performance and drop your comments below. This is Hatman. I'm out.